What is up? What's up, everybody? Let me push a few more buttons. I'm chewing gum right now. I was going to drive all of you nuts. I'm going to get comments that are like, can't listen to this guy talk while he's chewing gum. Well, then don't listen to me talk. Nobody's making you be here. You came to my channel. All right. It's very funny how offended people get. Like, 30 minutes into a video, they're like, I can't even listen to this crap. Like, then don't. You've been here for 30 minutes. Stop violating your own personal principles. Stop doing things that you can't do. Simple. So, last one today, okay? And so if you missed, I did a private video for the Wolf Den only. If you're in the Wolf Den, you can go find that one. But watch the public one on the YouTube channel from this morning. I'm just responding basically to people that got wrecked, and I just kind of like, man, that sucks because you didn't have to. Let me explain. A lot of people are getting their leverage wiped out. They borrowed against themselves. They're getting liquidated, yada, yada, yada. Yeah, lots of videos today. Yeah, well, you know, when you're in the mood, you're in the mood. I had a friend, my partner Dan had his friend come today to the office. He's an architect, and we're talking about redesigning the office. Got fired up about that, but here's the thing. People are trying to do complicated things. People always think more advanced is better, and it's not. It is not. It looks like this, okay? This is Maslow's hierarchy, but conceptually, right, the higher up you go, the more diminished the returns are. Now, diminished returns are still returns. That doesn't mean that an advanced strategy is better. It's actually diminished. However, it's more. It's not more per hour. It's not more per unit of time or effort. So people are doing all these advanced things thinking advanced is better. Advanced is not better. The returns on advanced things are far less than basic things. It only makes sense to do advanced things, okay, when the basics have been maxed out. When the basics have been maxed out. I hope that makes sense. I don't know why people think more advanced is better. It's not. It's not. Like super advanced technique for making it to the end of a NBA game, right? Maybe LeBron James does some really advanced stuff to take care of his body so he can make it through a season, right? Just it's the nuance stuff. Now you might say, oh, if LeBron does it, it's super advanced, I should do it too. But guess what? If you're not 6'8" and you can't make a fucking basket, it doesn't matter. If you can't play defense and you can't pass the ball, you don't know the plays, it doesn't matter if you make it to the end of the season. Nobody's going to fucking want to play you anyway, right? Like, you're not going to get playing time. So never, ever, ever confuse more advanced for better. It's not. It is on top of something else once that main thing has been maxed out or optimized. So borrowing against your Bitcoin, leverage positions, all this stuff, that's super advanced. It is. It is not better than just yielding free money. It's not. It's something you can do on top of it. It's something you can do after you have mastered like the base case. You could get a little bit extra by learning how to use leverage and stuff. So here's what it looks like. This is Maslow's hierarchy. Okay. Physiological needs, safety needs, belongingness and love needs, esteem needs, self-actualization. Obviously, if you look at all my stuff, people always say, wow, this is so innovative, revolutionary. I promise you it's not. I do nothing innovative. I do nothing revolutionary. Diffusion of Innovations, when I shared that, it blew their mind. Diffusion of Innovations was written in like 1950. So the fact that nobody's ever read a book before does not make me innovative. Just pointing that out, that I am admitting right here, nothing I do is new. Okay? There's no reason to find new. Old stuff works just fine. Maslow's hierarchy, it's not new. Okay? So what we do in trading is like an inverted version where we're driven by our impulse and desires, right? And then the tertiary preferences of ours, and the secondary preferences, and the primary preferences, and the core priorities, right? Which means we're not very good at taking care of ourselves. We're not. We chase things around. We need to invert this, okay? We need to invert this. Step one is enough. This is your solvable problem, right? This is the base case. That's what we use as the base case. Until you are on track to fund everything that you want, you should do nothing, in my opinion, other than work the base case in the safest, most sustainable way possible. So if you don't have your solvable problem locked in, then you just keep working until you do. Doing something more advanced does not give you greater returns. It gives you diminished returns until you have enough. Okay? Does this make sense? Now, in the context of goal setting, like let's say nutrition, all these advanced strategies, right? Fasting, carb cycling, this fancy diet, that fancy diet. None of that matters if you don't know how much food and exercise you need. Eating the right amount of food and doing the right amount of exercise will make a bigger difference than all that advanced stuff, right? So enough is first. Only after you have proven that you can lock in a base that'll get you what you need, right, is balance. Okay, now we have our base. Now, is my portfolio appropriately balanced? Right? A lot of people want balance out of the gate. Should I be 40% this, 40% that, and 20% that? Well, it doesn't matter until you're on track to solve your solvable problem. If you don't know what a solvable problem is, go back to our old videos. Okay? So a lot of people are worried about like, well, I want some percentage of this and some percentage of that and some percentage of this. I want to make sure I have some exposure to this. The balance doesn't matter if you're not on track to have enough. Right? Who fucking cares how balanced it is if it's not going to solve the problem? So only after you are on track to have your solvable problem, it might be less than ideal. You might have to work more than you want. You might have to put more fiat in. It might be a little bit fragile. That's okay. We have to get on track to solve the problem with the base case or otherwise before we start worrying about balancing it out. Balance is like a hedge strategy, right? If you stay tuned, you'll see where this is going pretty quick. Okay, and then structure. So after we are on track, all right, look, given where the rate I'm going, if I get 70% a year, I will solve this problem. Now we got to work on balance. Do I have the right kind of stuff in my portfolio? In a nutrition context, this would be like macronutrients. Okay, now that I'm eating enough and I'm exercising enough, let's dial in my macronutrients, my protein, my fat, my carbohydrate. But only after I have enough. The balance doesn't matter if you have the right ratio of protein, carbohydrate, fat, but you're eating 3 times too much food or half as much as you need, right? This doesn't fucking matter without the base. So then we got structure. In nutrition, this would be like, how many times a day can I eat? Can I lock that in and put it on autopilot? Because the more structure there is, the more sustainable it will be. It'll become a habit. Okay, so structure in investing might be, do I check my portfolio weekly? Do I track it weekly? Do I track it daily? Do I do it twice a day? Do I compound it once a day? What is the appropriate structure? Now that I know that I have enough and it's appropriately balanced, how often can I just turn this into a habit? Because habits are typically more sustainable than conscious efforts. Okay, so enough balanced structure. Only after you've locked that in and it's on autopilot does it make sense to go to novelty. Now I have enough, it's balanced, it's structured. Can I learn how to have fun? Can I learn how to play with a pre-sale without sacrificing and my structure falling apart or my balance falling apart? So most people fail here, in nutrition especially. They go, I think I'll go out with a night of drinks with my friends. And they do. And the next morning, they're like, oh no, I was so bad. What do I do? And they overexercise and they starve themselves and they binge eat and then they yo-yo diet because they don't know how to have fun. They don't know how to break their own rules once or twice in a way that they can go back to the existing structure. So novelty is like, I'm just doing this for fun. Pre-sales, moonshots, gambling, playing wolf games, all that stuff, right? You earn that by having a structure that you can break whenever you want, understanding you can go right back to that structure, and that structure is balanced and it's solving the problem. Okay? Most people never get here. Now, here is complicated stuff in nutrition and fitness. That's supplements, that's drugs, that's really complicated nutrient timing, all that stuff. It barely makes a difference. It makes it separates the top 3% from the top 1%, you know? If you're not the top 3%, you could take all the supplements in the world. If you have shitty habits, you're still going to look and feel horrible. and perform horribly. So yes, this is super advanced. It doesn't really matter that much. It doesn't provide that much of a benefit. This is leveraged trading. This is farming leveraged trading, leveraged farming. This is borrowing against your own assets. That's complicated stuff. If you do not have a solvable problem, it is not balanced, it is not a sustainable structure that you believe you can maintain, evidence suggests you can do this for a very long time consistently, and you don't know how to live your life, right? Have fun with your wife, with your husband, with your kids, with your family, with your friends, without breaking the structure, you should not touch complicated stuff. You should not go anywhere near it. The returns are extremely diminished, and it's more likely to mess up these things. So if you had a solvable problem, right, and you were almost on track, but not quite, you don't work up this pyramid, you just got liquidated. And if you just got liquidated, you've set yourself back a lot. You should not be having fun. You're going to have to rebuild your structure. Your balance is off because you just got some percentage of your portfolio liquidated, and now you probably don't have enough. Okay? So the reason I didn't get wrecked is because I do borrow against my Bitcoin. I do have like $300,000 of Bitcoin sitting index, so I borrow against it. And guess what? If it gets liquidated, it doesn't matter. It's not part of my enough. It's not part of my balance. It's not part of my structure. And I have my novelty dialed in. It's not part of my novelty. It's just play. That whole entire account could get liquidated. It wouldn't matter to me because it's complicated stuff and I know where to place it. You lock in the lower tiers first. So just a reminder, and this is going to be in the, I'm doing some training for Guardians and Direwolves in the Wolf Den. You can go like, what phase am I in enough? I don't have a solvable problem yet. And you're going to be like, oh yeah, but I really think I should get some stuff on like Terra Network, and I really think I should get some stuff on Avalanche because I think that's up and coming. That's a balance play. If you do not have a solvable problem, don't touch it. If you do, you are not on the Wolf Den methodology. That's okay. Just know that, right? And then once you have your balance is appropriate, like, can you just do the same thing consistently? Track your portfolio once a month. Track it once a week. Compound it daily. Compound it twice a day. Compound it Monday, Wednesday, Friday. Whatever the appropriate structure for you is that is sustainable. And if you cannot do that, you should not be out there trying to have fun with your crypto. You're not there yet. Okay? If you are, great. If you know how to have fun and then resume your structure in a way that stays balanced and doesn't compromise your solvable problem, cool. When you go have fun and you hit a moonshot and you get an extra 50 grand, 100 grand, you can use that 100 grand to do complicated stuff because it doesn't compromise the rest of this pyramid. So the reason people are getting wrecked is they are operating this way. They are thinking, man, if I just ape into this, I'll be able to get all these things that I want. And if it keeps going right and I get enough, eventually I'll be able to fund the things that matter the most to me. Nothing getting locked in. Everybody that had any of their solvable problem leverage that got wiped out or liquidated is playing this game. It's silly. It's fragile. I mean, look, the shape of it suggests that it doesn't have much of a foundation. So I'm hoping that makes sense to you. I just realized this. This is what my brain did when I see all these people getting liquidated. Like, oh no, like, yeah, you probably don't have enough locked in. You probably don't have your balance. You probably don't have a structure that is sustainable. You probably don't know how to have fun without compromising that structure. And you think that complicated stuff is better because it's advanced, quote unquote advanced. But advanced things have diminished returns always since the beginning of time. The greatest coaches, consultants, athletes on the planet, you know what they know? Every all-pro, perennial, all-pro, Hall of Fame athlete says, every offseason I go back to the basics. All these 12-year-old kids are trying to like run with parachutes behind them and stupid shit like that, thinking that advanced is better. It's not. Trading is no different. Solvable problem first, balance second, sustainable structure third. Learn how to have fun with it, and then go back to having structure, right? Fall back into your structure so that you want to go have fun on the weekends. You want to do pre-sales. Cool. It doesn't compromise your solvable problem. And then only then, when all of these things, you have evidence that you have accomplished and can achieve these things, you can try complicated stuff to squeeze out a little bit extra. This might push you from, 30 million to 35 million. It might push you from 500,000 to 100 million. It's not going to push you from broke to rich. Enough is going to push you from broke to rich, right? Balance and structure are going to take you from rich to wealthy. The fact that you have a sustainable structure, that you can do this for years and years on end, and it's different for everybody based on their personality, that will make you wealthy. Novelty will ensure that you are wealthy and you're having fun getting there. Complicated stuff is just fucking complicated. I enjoy it. I consider it novelty, but it's complicated. The returns are diminished. It belongs in this little tiny space because the returns on it are often insignificant. Going from, yes, I'm going to be wealthy, to I'm going to be even more wealthy is not a huge life change. Going from I can barely pay the bills and sleep at night to now I'm wealthy is a huge fucking leap. These are the things that matter. Okay? So that's why people got wrecked. People got wrecked because they went straight into complicated stuff trying to make it happen faster. They mistake complicated for being better, bigger, faster. Advanced for being better, bigger, faster. It's not. It's built on top of a foundation. It represents a tiny bit. So you're going to have like this, 99% of the population is not going to have enough, right? 99.5% of the population is not going to have enough and balance. 99.8% is not going to have enough balance and structure. 99.8%, 85% is not going to know how to have fun while also having all these things. And 99.9% is not going to capitalize on complicated stuff, right? So all you're doing is you're trying to jump from the 99% to the top 1%. You can do it by just locking in your solvable problem. Your solvable problem alone puts you above the 99% of people. It puts you in the top 1%. So we're talking about leapfrogging from average 50% to top 1%. The rest is fucking minuscule. It's negligible. It doesn't matter. And yet, people are skipping this, trying to go here. That's why they're getting liquidated. That's why they're getting wiped out. That's why they're panicking. Hope that makes sense. Hope that structure is useful to you. You don't take my word for it. You can really go deep dive into Maslow's hierarchy. Same thing, right? Lock in your physiological needs. Lock in your safety needs. Lock in your belongingness and love needs. Right? Lock in your esteem needs. Self-actualization. Everybody's trying to jump straight to I've never been successful at anything before, but I think I want to be self-actualized. Let me jump straight to here. And then they're confused as to why the rest of their life falls apart. It's not surprising when you watch human behavior. Hey, let me show you this one more time, and I'll leave it there for a minute so I don't get cut off. Boom. Solvable problem. Until you have that, I don't want to hear about anything else. Balance. Different for everybody. Structure. Until you have structure, until you have something that is sustainable for you and your personality and your lifestyle, I don't want to hear about anything else. Complicated stuff doesn't make any sense. I will not help you do complicated things if you cannot do the same thing consistently for some appreciable amount of time. Or keep living this way and keep pretending like you're confused why you're not getting what you want. Waiting for the lag to catch up here. All right, appreciate you guys. Should be the last video today. That's 3 today. 2 of them are public. I strongly suggest that you watch the 2 that are public. If you're not in the Wolf Den, if you are,